everyone. Hope you guys are having a fantastic day out there. Thank you so much for being here, for clicking on the video, stopping by. Hope you're having a lovely day out there. Hope you're doing well. Hope that life is treating... Sorry, I pulled up the video. Hope that your life is treating you well. Hope that everyone's doing okay out there. Today, we're going to listen to a little bit of Charles Ives. We're going to listen to the Ives Symphony number 4. This is going to be performed by the American Symphony Orchestra and Schola Cantorum of New York. Pulling up the information for this particular symphony. It was written between 1910 and the mid-1920s by Charles Ives. We're listening to this because it was suggested. This was sponsored by Alan. Alan, thank you so much for the recommendation. Thank you so much for the support as well. I truly, truly appreciate that. I'm pulling up the video right now. We've listened to a little bit of a sample from Mr. Ives with Washington's birthday. And now it's time to dive into a full symphony from him. And speaking of symphonies, I think this Long Song Saturday for this week. I don't have my schedule pulled up. I think we got some classical coming up here soon this Saturday. It's been a little bit, but we finally have some returning to the channel. I like to watch classical live, but unfortunately, I'm trying to avoid. Unless I get clearance, I'm trying to avoid certain things. I got in a strike, unfortunately, before for one of the classical reactions. So we're going to stick with some audio. But yeah, I'm looking at it right now. We got something classical adjacent. Well, not even adjacent, I don't think, coming up in Saturday. Anyway, let's listen to the track rather. Let's listen to the piece of music. Got to get myself corrected there. We would discuss it briefly after. And let me put you guys up here. Here we go. Let me back it up that quarter of a second. Oh, it starts just like that. We're starting very dramatic. Lyrics. I'll have to pull them up after. Tense. Oh, that's gorgeous. That was really beautiful and like an exciting, kind of dramatic opening there. I would imagine that's the first movement. Okay, talk about dramatic. It's like a maelstrom in the back. It's like it turns into something so destructive, and then these are the ashes afterwards. So brash. I don't know why this one reminds me of City Street. There's so many like things happening at the same time. That sounded familiar. As sweet and gentle as a melody can be. It's like we've entered a little soiree. It keeps on giving you these little moments of tenderness and then takes them away like that. Timing. Nice volume base. Don't be fooled. Like a heart attack. I'm assuming that's second movement. Maybe not. Maybe not. This feels like relief. That's really nice. Really nice. This is my favorite movement so far. It's gorgeous and sweeping. It's like calmly majestic, like soaring through the skies. the last, I don't know, 5 minutes, 7 minutes were my favorite in this thing. That was beautiful, 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 beautiful. Just gorgeous and powerful too. Big swells. Curious to see the next movement. Interesting percussion pattern. The bass. That percussion is so faint. It's just like a ghost of the guidelines to the music. This one's a lurker for sure. Almost a subtler, shadowy combination of the previous two movements. Big build up here. And those triangles or metal clings have returned from that second number. Trotting off. From the first movement. What a fadeaway. Symphony number 4. Oh, this one has so much involved in it. It has everything involved in this particular piece of music, the symphony. So as far as I can tell, there's 4 movements in here. And they are all so different from each other. But can I tell you, as different and varied as they are, the final movement does a perfect job of bridging the gaps between each of those other three movements, mixing them together in a cauldron, and putting it out in this really, really interesting concoction that concludes this symphony, because it features elements and tones and sounds from each of those movements. When the voices came in, the harmonies from the choir returned in that 4th movement, it really clicked, like, wow, he really brought everything back in some capacity. Because in a quick overview, this is how I describe the 4 movements. Extravagant and adventurous and you know, kind of brash in the first. The second was just barely controlled chaos and abrasive. And it gave you moments of peace, and then just as quickly as it gave it to you, it snatched it away in the claws of an eagle. The third movement, in complete contrast and difference to the second, was just sweepingly beautiful, wonderfully majestic. It felt like it was just soaring above the mountains looking down, and it's a beautiful sight. And then the 4th movement takes 1, 2, 3 and just mangles them all together and serves it to on a platter. And it is both equally beautiful and majestic, as well as, I mean, in a way, to me, kind of dark and subtle. extremely subtle in the footsteps of the movements. And what I mean is like the rhythm. The drums, those footsteps, you could say, in the beginning of the fourth movement are so quiet, and they lay a very subtle, barely seen and barely heard kind of groundwork for the rest of the music to build off of that. But man, when it builds off of that, it goes, because as it's building in that fourth movement, it kind of starts to reiterate a little bit from the third movement, but then pieces of the first movement come in right after musically. And then that second movement, the brashness of that kind of inserts itself until, again, reiterating and bringing back the harmonies, those vocals from the choir. And you even have the metal, I think it's triangles, the bing, bing, bing. You can, if you like listening, like it's just ringing around that you hear as well from the previous movements. So it's really cool how these elements return in such a clear fashion. Now, we're going to look at the information for the Wikipedia page for the symphony, so we have like direct information. But this feels like, maybe it's because of the album artwork as well, like it feels like there was a time of, maybe I'm thinking American history, right? Early. This is 1910 it was written, or in that range. So I'm thinking before, like 1700s, there's a period of prosperity. Then there's a period of revolution. Then there's a period of, and that revolution is, I'm going by movement. And then there's a period of peace, a Pax Americana, so to speak. And then there's a period of uncertainty. I don't know. That includes everything from before. I think that's incredible how it all comes together. Let's look at the info. As I mentioned, written between 1910 and mid-20s. The second movement comedy was the last to be composed. I would never think of it as a comedy. But I suppose perhaps we're thinking about it in the more older fashioned term of a comedy. How, of course, it's different from now. It's more of a drama kind of connotation. The symphony is notable for its multi-layered complexity. That is true. Typically requiring 2 conductors in performance. It's really interesting. And for its large and varied orchestra. Yeah, even the recording, like you can tell there's a lot happening, but even the recording seems like it's like struggling to capture the full, for lack of a better word, girth of sound. Combining elements and techniques of Ives' previous compositional work, this has been called one of his most definitive works. Also entitled his climactic masterpiece. 4 movements. Okay, prelude, maestoso, comedy allegretto, fugue, andante moderato, con moto, and finale. Very slowly, largo, maestoso. Although the symphony requires a large orchestra, the duration is only about half an hour. Okay. I didn't mean to click that. We're not reading every single little thing, but this movement and the second movement were the first to be performed by 50 members. Let's see. While 50 players are sufficient for the chamber-like scoring of the first movement, the second movement in reality requires almost twice as many players. Yeah, with the constant chaos that's happening. Because the second movement, obviously the most chaotic, it sounds like there's just so many players playing their own thing. And you know, like, here's how I describe it. Dissonance is 2 or more things happening in opposition to each other. Harmony is 2 or more things happening in alignment with one another. The way that the second movement plays, it's kind of like it's not quite dissonant, but it ain't harmonic exactly. They're playing. There's a little overlap, but for the other part, like they're playing their own thing. Okay. The second movement in reality requires twice as many players. Yet this was Ives' only experience in hearing any parts of the symphony performed live. In contrast to Ives' other works for large orchestra, which began in quiet and meditative moods, the first movement prelude starts with a strong maestoso fortissimo. Yes, it does. It comes in heavy. It comes in swinging, and the quietness comes in after. The movement ends with the chorus singing John Bowring's Epiphany hymn, "Watchmen Tell Us of the Night." Okay, so that's what we're hearing there, and it dies away. I would like to, maybe there's lyrics down here. If not, maybe we'll look those up here really quick. Okay, the second movement. This is the one. Ives based this comedy movement on Hawthorne's story, The Celestial Railroad, itself a trope of John Bunyan's Pilgrim's Progress. It is an orchestral expansion, not merely a simple orchestration of Ives' piano solo. You hear it, but like there's piano in there, but man, is okay. So he has a piano solo in The Celestial Railroad. a short story. Let's see. Hawthorne adapts the style and content of the 17th century allegory, Pilgrim's Progress, whereas Bunyan's tale portrays a Christian's spiritual journey through life. Hawthorne satirizes many contemporary religious practices and philosophies, including transcendentalism. Okay, gotcha. We're not getting too far into the weeds on this one. We just want a little bit of a weed whacker surface level on it. As such, the comedy movement is a composition of the 1920s and may represent one of Ives' last orchestral endeavors. It's his most extreme, yeah it is, essay and overlapping thematic material, found also in his Holiday Symphony, but is most complex in its use of multimetrics and temporal desynchronies, and is compositionally his most complex orchestral work. Okay, I said it while the music was happening, but there's parts in there that sound relatively familiar. Here you go. Tunes quoted include In the Sweet By and By, Beulah Land, Marching Through Georgia, Ye Christian Heralds, Jesus Lover of My Soul, and Nearer My God to Thee. There are some melodies in there that sound familiar amongst the chaos because it goes back and forth between, a sweet, distinctive melody and just crashing through with it says, this extreme complexity. The disjunctive, metrical, and temporal complexity of this movement requires at least one additional conductor. The music builds to several riotous climaxes before ebbing away. Yeah, that's for sure. And then the third, which, like I said, is the most beautiful, an arrangement of this movement by future film composer Bernard Herrmann. There you go. Also notable for Taxi Driver. Taxi was performed in 1933, but Ives' version was not performed until later on in 1965. The movement is composed, is about 75% of the same as the first movement of the first string quartet, has a few irregular bar lengths. He called it an expression of the reaction of life into formalism and ritualism. Paradoxically, because of its juxtaposition with the other three harmonically, tonally, and rhythmically complex movements, biographer Jan Swafford calls this most outwardly simple and conservative movement, in a way the most revolutionary movement of all. Yeah, because it stands out so apart from everything else. And then the finale, it ends with what Ives calls an apotheosis of the preceding content in terms that have something to do with the reality of existence and its religious experience. It employs a separate percussion ensemble that plays a separate tempo from the main orchestra. Yeah, it starts off, but then the rest of them come in and it's kind of off. The temporal relationship between the two groups changes over the course of the movement in a tightly controlled and exact manner, which is one of the many challenges facing conductors and performers. You got to make sure you keep your eyes on the right person. Says in his memos, Ives wrote that the movement seems to me the best compared with the other movements, and for that matter, with any other thing I've done. Whew. And it goes on from there. Look at the amounts of instruments here. The mixed chorus performs a setting of the hymn Watchman in the first movement and a wordless intonation of the hymn Bethany in the last. Gotcha. It did not have a complete performance until 1965, 11 years after Ives' death. I would imagine in some capacity, I don't know exactly the reason, of course, but I would think that perhaps part of that was just bringing everything together and being able to perform it. Now, I'm curious. We're not going to watch a whole live performance, but I would love to see two conductors working this thing.
Hören Sie also das Werk jetzt mit dem WDR.
We're not watching because just copyright. I can't risk it. But it's the second movement. It's crowded in there. You know it's hot in here. You know? Oh, there you go. Jeez. I want to see two conductors, though. I want to see two of them. And they may have been in there. I'm skipping around, so it might be me. It might be a me problem. Look at that, man. It's still okay. All right. I don't want to take too much time. That's look at the orchestra, though. Look at the orchestra. Jeez, taking up all the room there. That's crazy. It is really cool. That kind of expansive detail in the music and the orchestra and everything, though. That's big. I mean, geez, like you got everything lined up in here. The symphony did not have complete form, so I was looking for reception. I wanted to hear what people thought of it. Nothing, huh? Nothing necessarily. I wanted to hear like what did people think of it after when they heard it. That's a lot. Let me know what you guys thought of it, however, in the comments down below. I appreciate you all watching. Let me know your favorite movement. I mean, the third one is like so, satisfyingly pleasant as opposed to the others, but it is interesting how like with the brashness of the other ones, it really makes you appreciate it. And then when the finale comes around, it kind of wraps everything up in a really nice way and kind of brings to mind in a pleasant way, I would say, everything else there, which is kind of cool. But anyways, let me know your thoughts down there. Alan, thank you so much for the recommendation and really appreciate the support as well. This was a cool endeavor, and I wish I could see like the two composers or the conductors up there doing their thing. But regardless, thank you again. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you all later. Bye. Actually, quick question. Is this, I mean, there may be another piece. What piece of music has the most amounts of musicians and players involved?